In the spirit of this season, I put together this video for you, highlighting some historical facts about Christmas that you may not have ever heard about. Some of them you have, but I realize that not everyone celebrates Christmas. And for those of you who don't, I still hope you find this interesting. Fact number 1, Jolly Saint Nick. Much unlike the stories of Santa Claus, who resides at the North Pole with the reindeer, the history of the beloved jolly old elf actually has its origins in the Mediterranean in the 4th century. Saint Nicholas of Myra, which is now modern-day Demre, Turkey, was a Greek bishop known for the many miracles he performed and also for his benevolence toward children. One of the tales recounts that he saved 3 young girls from a fate of prostitution when he had 3 bags of gold secretly delivered to their parents. Another story tells of Nicholas entering an inn whose innkeeper had just murdered 3 boys, sliced them up, and pickled them in barrels. Somehow Nicholas sensed this horrific crime and resurrected the 3 boys. For these miracles, he was deemed the patron saint of children. Nicholas is also the patron saint of sailors, merchants, archers, repentant thieves, brewers, pawnbrokers, and students in various cities and countries around Europe. Fact number 2, O Tannenbaum. By the Middle Ages, the legend of Jesus' birth had grown. Although the Bible doesn't state exactly when Jesus was born, ancient peoples associated with his birth with the winter solstice, the shortest and darkest day of the year. After the Christ child was born, he gave new light to the world, and it is said that all of the trees throughout the world shook off the ice and snow that had settled on their branches, revealing new shoots of green. Many ancient peoples used evergreen branches to decorate their homes. And in the 16th century, people started setting up paradise trees, associated with Adam and Eve's Day, which is December 24th, and they laden them with fruits. During that century, some say the first person to bring Christmas trees into the home was the German preacher Martin Luther. But in fact, the Christmas tree has strong historical roots in Germany with the medieval German mystery or miracle plays that were acted out in front of churches on Christmas Eve. Decorated trees were paraded around town to advertise the play. Christmas trees became more popular in the Victorian period when the German Prince Albert and his wife, Queen Victoria of England, erected a Christmas tree in Windsor Castle for their children. In 1848, a drawing of the Queen's Christmas tree at Windsor Castle was published in the London News. In December of 1850, the illustration was published in Godey's Lady's Book, which came out of Philadelphia, giving rise to the popularity of Christmas trees in America. Fact number 3, Away in a Manger. The nativity scenes that we see all over different countries in churches and homes actually has its origins in Italy in the 13th century. In 1223, St. Francis of Assisi made a pilgrimage to Bethlehem. And while he was there, he visited the historical cave that housed the rustic stable where Jesus was born. It's believed that Francis was so moved by the place that he was inspired to recreate the scene for a special Mass on Christmas Eve. He held this Mass in a cave in Greccio, Italy, where he set up an empty manger or a rough feeding trough and brought in a live ox and a donkey to more accurately recreate the first Christmas night. He's said to have wanted to do something so that people would remember the simplicity and the poverty in which this child had been born, and for his people to remember the true reason for Christmas. Fact number 4, Itsy Bitsy Spider. I don't know about you, but I have never associated Christmas with spiders. However, tinsel for the Christmas tree had its origins in spiders' webs and is reported to have come from legends in Northern European countries such as Germany, Ukraine, Finland, and Scandinavia. Most of these legends center around a poor family who cannot afford decorations for their Christmas tree, which in some tales grew from a pine cone in their house, and in others was brought in by the family. When the household goes to sleep, a spider housed in the tree covers it with intricately designed cobwebs. By the time the family rises in the morning, the spider's beautiful webs have magically turned to strands of silver and gold. Some people believed that St. Nicholas's magical powers turned the web to precious metals, and others say it was the magical powers of the light of the sun. Apparently, it's considered good luck in parts of Poland, Germany, and Ukraine to find a spider or spider's web on your Christmas tree. Spider's web ornaments called pawuci, which means little spider, made of paper and silver wire, are very popular in those countries. Fact number 5, God bless us, everyone. One of my favorite Christmas stories is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Like many of his works, Dickens' A Christmas Carol was written as a commentary on specific social issues of the day, particularly the plight of the poor and the brutality of child labor. When Charles was 11, his family was imprisoned in the Marshalsea debtors' prison in Southwark, London, because of his father's mounting debts from living beyond his means. It was up to young Charles to leave school to help pay the family's debt, and he was soon employed at Warren's Blacking Warehouse, where he worked 10 hours every day, pasting labels on pots of boot blacking. When he first set out to work on the project that was to become the beloved story we know today, he intended for it to be a pamphlet entitled An Appeal to the People of England on behalf of the poor man's child. But he decided that he could reach the hearts of more people by telling this story symbolizing the harshness of government and the rich, and in Ebenezer Scrooge, and how he behaved toward innocent families and the children in the lovely Cratchit family. It was a decision that produced an immediate and timeless bestseller, followed by print, stage, and theater productions. Well, I hope you've learned something new and heartwarming about some of these Christmas traditions. I always think it's fun to research the history of holidays and learn about how people celebrated them. I hope you will be able to spend this holiday season with loved ones and good friends, safely of course, and that you go into 2021 with renewed hope and joy. Merry Christmas.